We're literally at the point where every 3 to 4 hours, new info is getting out there in regards to the future of Spider-Man. This makes sense. Every outlet wants to have a new update as it's driving traffic. This is one of the biggest things to happen in Hollywood's history with character disputes. And of course, Spider-Man is at the center of all of this, and he's the most popular superhero in the world. So let's talk about the latest update that has huge implications for Tom Holland. And as always, before we get into this video, if you guys would like exclusive content such as podcasts and discussions, check out the little join button down below. So what exactly is happening? Well, the newest update that's been floating around, and some sources are saying that it is definitely true due to the fact that the way the contracts were written up, where Tom Holland would have 6 films total, but 5 would be within the MCU and the 6th one was an option, makes it so he does not have to come back for another film. Now, this wouldn't be the first time this was done. This has actually become commonplace within Marvel Studios. Hugo Weaving, who of course played the Red Skull, had the same exact thing. And when they came to him and said, hey, do you want to come back as the Red Skull in Infinity War and Endgame? He said no. He declined it. He didn't want to do it. And it was his decision. They couldn't force him to do it. Tom Holland's 6th film or 6th appearance is exactly like this apparently. It's up to him to decide if he wants to come back or not. Now, let's say if they can work something out, or maybe the 3rd film ends up being in the MCU, he can come back and wrap up his story. Or if Sony goes, well, the next film is ours, which we've heard is exactly what's happening, and they can't do anything besides use Tom Holland, he can 100% refuse to come back. And this would honestly be kind of insane if this is what he did, because then they have to scramble to get a new Spider-Man actor out there and get a new Spider-Man film out within the next 3 years because of the revolving contract, because if they don't, then they find themselves in the losing position where Spider-Man reverts back to Disney Marvel. So it's going to be up to Tom Holland to decide how this goes, and more than likely he's sitting down with his agents, he's calling both studios, and they're trying to figure out what is happening, which is probably why we're not getting giant official statements. But as you guys have seen, Tom Holland's dad has even posted a blog about this, which actually ended up crashing. He's very vocal about it. He says he has no idea, but he wants his son to keep being Spider-Man in the MCU. So it's going to be really an interesting ride from here on out to see how this shakes out. What happens with Tom Holland? Does he come back? Does he refuse? And what are the ramifications of his decision gonna be? But it sounds like it's gonna get really insane real quick if he says no.